Hey guys, I'm Dr. McFarland and welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, June 10th, and today we're going to talk about a new, well, it's not technically new. I've known about them for a while. I just got reminded of them over the weekend. It's a company called Fret King over in the UK, and they are connected with the Vintage Guitars kind of brand, if you will, and they are highly developed and I guess put together by Trev Wilkinson, and he does a lot of work with other companies. I think he's doing some work with Chapman Guitars now, maybe designing pickups and hardware and different stuff. So anyway, Wilkinson hardware happens to be on Reverend Guitars, which is this is the Reverend Sensei, which I do love. This is a very cool guitar. And I'm going to do a little playing here on the Kemper player I have plugged in. Let's see. Where's a guitar pick when I need it? Guitar pick. You like the sound? Sound of that. This is just a maple bowl that I keep different stuff in here. I don't like that pick. Let's try the good old V-Picks. I think I got these at maybe a NAMM show a long time ago. Or maybe I ordered them. I'm not sure. Ogle Picks, what's up, man? Good to have you here. I did tour Europe with these picks. And I had maybe 2 or 3 of them on the front of my, in front of my pedal board on stage. And by the end of the show, they were not there. So somebody stole my V-Picks. So what's up? Yes, I'm out of tune. Let's see. Yes, I am as well, Andrew. I'm looking forward to a Helix announcement tomorrow. Sounds like a major update, not a new Helix. Yeah, I think a new update is going to come that will possibly, a new firmware update that will take the old hardware and then make it new again somehow. Either they've learned or developed a way to take the 2 processing chips that are in the Helix, and just make it like 4 times more powerful or something. I don't know. It's going to be cool. Perhaps I will get my Helix out next week after the announcement is already made tomorrow. Then we can talk about the new stuff next week on my channel during the live stream. But yeah, who knows what Line 6 is going to do. It's already really, really good. In the meantime, I do have the Kemper Profile player here in front of me, or to my left. And I also have my Fractal Expression pedal, which does this kind of thing. Well, maybe if I have it on this sound. There we go. Let's go over one more. Yeah, so I have a wall pedal in there, which sounds great. And we will talk about Fret King here in a second, but let me just show you what I got going on as to the this and the this. All right, so we have new fixed effects, which is a transpose, a noise gate, a compressor, a pure boost, which is awesome, a wall. Now the pure boost is already existent in like a block form, right? We can already go to distortion and go to booster, then pure boost, right? And that's already available. But having it in the pre-effects to where you don't have to use up one of your A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever blocks is really good. And you can assign that to a switch or something, or assign it to a to the morph button if you would like. So you can go from like a clean, hit the switch again, morph into like more boost, and then get a nice overdrive type sound. And there's also vintage chorus, which I could turn this on. Right, so like that. And then in the fixed effects, there's a double tracker which sounds like this. Okay, very cool. Going back to the wall pedal though, you can see that there's really four different assign options. We have on, where it's just on. You have it bypass on stop. So whenever you stop moving your foot, it just knows when to turn off, which is amazing. Bypass on head, bypass on toe. I'm pretty sure right now on the ToeMaster Pro, I have to check it again, but I think you can choose bypass on heel or bypass on toe or just on, but not have it, if you just stop moving at all, it just, you know, the wall pedal turns off. So kudos for Kemper. Let's give it a good clap here for Kemper. That's just amazing how it's so easy to just go in and dial that in and not have to like think at all about how to do this kind of stuff, you know. Okay, there's also a transpose. So if I want to go from this okay, so what is that even? What is that? Down 4 half steps. So that's 2 whole steps below. So it'll be in drop C, like everything's down in the key of C, essentially. If you had it down 3, you would have it in C sharp, which I think Chevelle and other low chugga chugga type bands, they're either in C or C sharp for sure. If I want it down a 5th, or down a perfect 4th, which is 5 half steps, I could have this on -5, and it'll give me in that, basically the, not baritone, but the, well, maybe a baritone, but definitely like adding a low B to my guitar, like my 7-string guitars, is essentially doing the same thing. So let me turn off my mic. Yeah, so there you go. The transpose works really well. Kind of fun. I don't technically need 7-string guitars for recording if I have something like that. But still, 7 strings are fun, and I like them. So let's go ahead and tune my Kemper. Yep. A little sharp. My pastor has been borrowing this guitar, so I hadn't had it in a while. Let me just retune. And what's funny is, not exactly, let me go back to my other view here so you can see what I'm talking about. Not exactly, but like the little horn thing right here is very similar to the new Yamaha Revstar that I have. Except for, obviously, the neck hill. They don't have the same cool little, like, you know, V-shaped thing for the neck hill. But, you know, it is what it is. So, Fret King Guitars. Let me pull up this website once I'm done tuning and playing. I have the Kemper on strobe mode right now, so it's giving me that strobo stomp kind of left and right kind of thing. Now I love seeing comments on Facebook or YouTube on how guys are like, man, the tuner is just not accurate at all. I'm like, really? I could tune with pretty much any device just fine. So I don't know what your problem is, people out there that say that tuners aren't accurate, but they work fine for me. Alright, so real fast, let's see if I can turn my camera on. Maybe it doesn't matter. Something like that. Moving it down. Moving it around. Okay. Let's see if I can show this. Yeah, I can. Alright, so real fast before we start talking about Fret King. What I've reconfigured my 5 main presets right here. So this is like a Mezzo Boogie profile. And then I took the rig 3 that was on 3 and I moved it to 2. So I have a dirty, a clean. Okay. Which I did add I did like this morph thing, which I'm gonna turn off. So let me do it this way, because I made it to where I was adjusting the amp volume, which I really don't want to do. You really want to adjust volume pedal type volume. So that way you're not changing the gain structure of your amp just by bringing down the volume. You want a nice full sound. So anyway. Okay, maybe there's I think the pure boost. No, that's disabled. Something else is on. What else could be on here that is getting different options? Oh, the mix of the reverb. Something like that. I'll go ahead and turn that down like that. I'll hold that down and save it. And that will get me to where it's just a nice ambient, clean type thing. Okay. The air chorus is on. That kind of deal. And then if I turn on my tremolo, and also my pure boost is on, so it's giving me a little extra gain. Cool. I like that. So save that one. All right, now going over to 3. This is a Marshall. Which one is this? This is like a Marshall Plexi cranked kind of deal. Okay, I do have the pure boost on. Also have the delay on, which I can turn back on. This is really cool, like long, lengthy kind of reverb or delay sound. Okay, now going to 4. This is just a good, straight up, clean. Position. Okay. Okay, and turn on my tremolo. And I can turn on the pure boost. Okay, so once again, just nice and clean with a little boost in front. Then here's number 5, which is, what amp is this? What are you? I think this is the still a deluxe model, with the OCD turned on. And I only have one bank set up right now, so when I go to the next one, it actually circles back around to number 1 over here. Then if I go back, it's going to circle back around to number 5. And then I can continue to go back to go to clean. All right, there we go. That is good for the Kemper right now. Let me Let's talk about Fret King for a second. Get my microphone in my face. All right, so what is going to happen here is this. Fret King. Fret King guitars. And I was actually kind of excited based on my Yamaha experience. But let's see here. Head and browser. Here we are. All right. So right now they have a 25% off sale. Okay. And if you look at the guitars, they're like, all right, there's your typical S-style guitar. This actually has a humbucker, a single, and a P90 in it, which is cool. I mean, it's really neat. Okay. So we got the body, we got the headstock, the pickups, carefully curated set of Fret King pickups enables the Corona Classic to deliver a phenomenal range of tones. So once again, the legendary Trev Wilkinson designed Fret King 55 double coil pickup, built to an original 55 recipe, delivers outstanding tone, replete with authority, authenticity, depth, and clarity. Okay, so that's good. And that's talking about the humbucker. Then supplemented by two Fret King vintage 60 single coils in the middle and neck. The Corona Classic has huge tonal versatility. Yeah, all that's fine. All that looks good. Okay, we do have a very coil for the humbucker. Progressively rolls bridge mounted 55 double coil down to single coil. So it doesn't just, it's not a push pull, which is kind of neat. It actually changes ever so slightly as you bring it down. So you're getting that, that humbucker, and then slightly starting to morph into like a single coil, just with the change of the tone knob there. So we have a master volume, a master tone, which is probably the middle. Then there's the very cool. Andrew Collins says, I know G&L Guitars had a sale on all their B stock guitars. So that's a pretty good deal. Very good deal. We have a 6-screw trim, which I'd be very interested to see how that feels. I'm really in love with the Wilkinson trims that they put on. Where are they at? They're all back there. The Wilkinson trims on the Reverend guitars are really nice. The bag, it looks thin to me. It looks a little cheap. So the pros and cons of this is the pros, it looks cool. It looks really good. The pickups have, they look like they're great pickups. I mean, I don't know what they sound like, but I would not be happy with this trim system. I'm so used to having more of a floating trim type situation that I just don't know if I would like that or not. But in this price range, that is in the let's go to Corona Custom. Okay. This one has the humbucky, the single, and the trying to scroll down here. Stop moving. And the P90, which is neat. That's a really neat option. Okay. For what I'm seeing on the Yamaha guitars, for the $850 range, they give you stainless steel frets, which I know I may be very biased, but that is just a huge option for me, because I've had so many guitars, even the Reverend I just got done playing a second ago. I've had dips in the frets at like the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, that area, And eventually, if I keep playing the guitar, playing my normal D chords and C's and A's and all that, those notes where the dips are going to start sounding out of tune. And then I have to go get it fret dressed. And then I have to go whatever. And that, that might be $100, right? And then, but now that all the frets are lower, like everything's lower, so I have to change the setup. And then I keep playing on it. And maybe that lasts another 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 to 5 years. Who knows? It's really not a big deal. It's really just my mental issue. But eventually, after a certain amount of fret dresses, you have to just get the frets replaced. So after each fret dress, let's just say it's $100, maybe 150. So after a few, you're already up, $300, maybe $450, just to say $500. And then after 3 fret dresses, you have to get the frets replaced, which is easily another $300 to $400. So now you're in close to $1,000 ish. Let's just say $800 over the course of like 15 years, when the original guitar was already $800 to $1,000 in the first place. So now you're putting in money into a guitar that's worth less than what you paid for originally. It doesn't make sense. Now if you're buying like a 60s Strat and the frets are just all worn out and you just want to get it back into proper working condition, then yeah, dropping $500 into a vintage instrument is, it is what it is. It's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. Because you're keeping, because it could be worth like thousands at that point, right? But taking a sub $1,000 guitar and then putting $500 to $800 into it over the span of, if I was a full-time working musician playing guitar every single night, or at least a few nights a week out in the local Nashville clubs, or maybe I'm playing on a touring kind of situation where I'm just playing constantly all year long, then you are going to wear out those frets way faster than someone like me who has multiple different instruments to choose from. And I'm not, I'm not playing these guitars every day. So yes, they will technically last longer in the long run. But I can't bring myself to pay money on another guitar that's sub $1,000 that doesn't have stainless steel frets. I just can't do it. Okay. Now, you can see here on the screen, it says 22 medium profile, high durability nickel silver frets ensure accuracy, comfort, and an overall feel. So high durability. How high is this? Is it going to withstand the trenches of literally playing every night? Or can I get away with having a guitar like this here in the studio and, I might pick it up once a week and therefore it might last me years without having to have a fret dress. Okay. So if I go 10 years and only have to spend $150 or so on a fret dress, then I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. But with so many other companies these days offering stainless steel frets on their instruments, I do not see why it would be impossible to not have stainless steel frets on literally everything. Okay. That's just my own personal opinion. Now, this does come with a 10-inch radius for a super comfortable, responsive playing style, positive playing feel. Whatever. That's fine. Also, the neck hill is really nice. Kiesel Guitars, which is a custom guitar maker that, charges thousands of dollars for their guitars, recently updated their neck hill to this kind of shape where it's very rounded on the end. Okay. Now, if you go look at the Yamaha Pacifica, come on, Sweetwater. Yamaha Pacifica Plus, whatever. Okay, I like the pink one. I really do like this pink one. This one does come with stainless steel frets. So you're, even with the sale over at Fret King, which makes this guitar, $670, whatever. That's a nice look. I mean, look at that thing. That's really cool. It's a very pretty guitar. I like the rosewood fretboard. I do like the P90. I do like the single in the middle. I do like the humbucker. You got the nice neck heel right there, nice and rounded, so you can reach in and get all your frets however you want. But even at a brand new price of $849, I mean, for literally, $300 more, you can get the Pacifica and never have to worry about fret dressing or replacing your frets ever again. Ever again. Okay. Now, the question is, do I like the maple fretboard or do I like the rosewood fretboard? It's very interesting. See, this is also a 2-point trim. Probably like a Godot trim, which I do like. I like the Godot trims a lot. I don't know. I just find it a very hard sell for me to put any more money into a sub $1,000 guitar if it doesn't have stainless steel frets. I just can't do it. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Do you care if a guitar has stainless steel frets or not? Or maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. Look at that neck heel though. It's very similar neck heel to what the Fret King has. So let me scroll down a little bit. See, there's that neck heel there. There, the Yamaha actually comes down a little closer to that body. But still, that's really nice. It's pretty nice. You can see here that this is a flat sawn neck, just based on the wood grain. It's a flat sawn instead of a quarter. And this is also probably, looks like that's flat sawn as well. It's very rare that you're going to see I know Kiesel Guitars goes out of their way to get quarter sawn necks because it does make it a lot more sturdy overall. Let me get a Kiesel guitar here for a second. All right, so you can see what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? All right, so what we have here is the lines on the guitar are straight up and down. Okay, if you see any part of the neck that has more of like a circular kind of thing, that means it was a flat sawn and it cut across the tree instead of going with the grain of the tree straight up and down. Okay, so that's one of the main selling points of Kiesel guitars. Is their quarter sawn necks, and they also have the let me actually plug this in so I can play on it. And this is a Delos model, so you can actually find a Kiesel Delos for, you can find them used for anywhere from like $1,200 to $1,500. And you do get the stainless steel frets. Still in tune. Yeah, Andrew, you're more of a you play out way more than I do, and I can imagine that your guitars would get, the frets would get run down pretty fast if you played, multiple times a week for hours on end, and you're playing those D shapes, those A shapes, the C shapes, the G shapes, everything down in this lower, bottom 4 frets right here. Now, if you're a lead player and you just don't play a lot of those cowboy chords, then you may play like runs and if you don't hold down a note on a fret for a certain length of time, or any length of time really, you're always moving and jumping up around and whatever, then I can see how you would not wear out the frets as much. But anyway, I just think for the money, I would be more really. I would really invest in a Yamaha Pacifica at this point, because it does, it's not a custom guitar, but it has all the specs that I would want. It has the nice neck heel, which this one is the older version. So it still has like the squared off neck heel, which is fine. I mean, I can still reach those upper frets. I can just kind of feel that edge a little bit, which is really not that big of a deal. One guitar fretted $200. Like a total refret or just a fret dress? Was that a fret dress or a refret for $200? Because for a fret dress, that seems a little high. Possibly. Seems high to me. Anyway, let's go back to Fret King here. There's an E-clat. Check this thing out. This has craziness. This is a Les Paul style guitar. Let me go back to my browser here. So look at this Les Paul style guitar with like a gold top type finish. It has a master volume. Then I think it has a master tone, and then it has that vari-coil type thing, like on the other guitar I showed you. It has a humbucker and a P90, or actually a humbucker and a mini humbucker, which is neat. Yeah, fret dress and a setup for $200. I mean, if the guitar cost you $1,000, now you just put $200 back into it to make it, halfway worth at least that much. So anyway, it is what it is. But this huge cutout right here. So like on the arm of a Les Paul, it usually has that really sharp edge. But now they made this model to where it is carved in right there. So your arm just like seamlessly falls into that gap, which is very interesting. But even that, I mean, that's $1,000 guitar. Originally charged, and then it's down to $775 with 25% off. So if we go back to the standard, you can see the standard does not have that arm thing, and it's $672. It does have a belly cut, but it doesn't have an arm bevel. Okay, but it does have nice P90s and a wraparound bridge, which is cool. Then here's the E-clat Custom. You can see that this also has the huge arm bevel right there. So you can see the original wood, and then you can see the maple top. You can probably see how thick it is as well. So, but this one does not have a belly cut. Why is that? Why give you a belly cut on the other one, but then they give you like a big arm bevel thing on this one? It's just doesn't make a lot of sense. There's some cool design options in there. This one has both mini humbuckers. But once again, if it doesn't have stainless steel frets, I don't want to even put $700 into it. They say 22 medium profile, high durability nickel silver frets. I want to know what that means. What is high durability? Does that mean you can play every day for 8 hours straight and maybe get some wear in the fret after like a year, or what? What is that even saying? So Andrew says fret dress and a setup. See, I could live on that clean sound for days. I mean, kick in some tremolo, kick in some boost. It's very interesting how only having 5 rigs in a bank, it forces you to just live with your decisions and not be like, oh, I need everything in the kitchen sink type of setup, which is, you know, it is a thing. So here's an E-clat. That's the same guitar. Here's the Elise, which is neat. This is a cool guitar. Some classic kind of offerings there. That's $844. And once again, high durability nickel silver frets. I would like to see stainless steel frets, but they just don't give you that. Here's Music Row. This is actually a cool guitar, but this is my gripe with this one. I would actually invest in something like that. And at $642, I know a guy down in Bell Buckle that said he would put on stainless steel frets for $300. I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold you to that, because maybe one day I will go to him and be like, I really like this guitar, but I'd never want to worry about frets again. So take my guitar, put on stainless steel frets, and then I can cherish it forever, kind of deal. Why give us a guitar? I'm liking more of the modern telly options these days. And this does not excite me at all. I want, on a modern telly, I want a belly cut and I want a arm bevel. And this has neither. This is the exact same all the way around. So you get no belly, option. And your arm is being constantly cut into like all night when you're playing. I just don't like that. That's why not give us a nice modern option. Okay. This is also really cool. Check this one out. This is a beauty. And I love that they give you a diagonal 3-way switch instead of the normal, horizontal switch, which I just don't like on a telly. That's a nice classic black look. And I know this has like an F-hole in it, so they can't really give you a bevel on the arm. But I would, actually it's probably, looks like it's just painted on. It's not even a real semi-hollow option there, which is kind of, it is what it is. Hum canceled edge. The stealth delivers either more freaking signature. It's a cool guitar. Very cool for $603. But for a modern telly, I want to have... So here's a modern classic. Check this out. Why didn't they do this with all the guitars? Why? Okay, this one... So there's the bag. It's a nice bag. So they give you a belly cut, which is awesome. The nice rounded off heel. Oh, this is like a 2-in-1 type thing. So you can adjust something there because it only has one pickup. Less is more, apparently. It gives you a 3-way switch, but you only got one pickup. So what's going on there? But anyway, there's the good picture. So this gives you a nice arm bevel. Why not do that on all the other models that you have? Why? I would totally buy this I would buy this, even a classic. Let's see what the classic is. So here's a classic Sunburst. And once again, it's not a squared. Sorry, it's a squared off body. It doesn't have any bevels on it. Okay, no bevel. There's a bag. That also has the same. I'm going to have to read up on what that is. Two-piece body. No bevel. They could totally add a bevel there, and it would have been great. Then I would say, okay, I would buy that for $600. Take it to my friend in bell buckle. He'll replace the frets for me for another $300. And now for still less than $1,000, I have a guitar that looks cool, has cool tones to it, a 3-way diagonal switch instead of horizontal, and stainless steel frets. And you have nice classic looking inlays. Let's look at the back here. Yeah, just, just your typical thing like that. So let's read up on this one. And I'm not trying to dog Fret King at all. Like, they have some cool looking stuff. But why give us a classic modern, this modern classic option with the belly cut and the arm bevel, and not give it to us on all the other models? It just doesn't make any sense. Light oiled finish. Soft C profile for instant comfort. 10-inch radius. High durability nickel silver frets. When I'm done with this stream, I will send this to them and be like, hey, this is my thoughts on Fret King guitars. So the custom designed stagger twins, staggered pole. Okay, that's fine. So country choir, phenomenal versatility. Top 50, yep. A tapped 50, tappable, overwound single coil bridge pickup, both created by Trev. Meaning the classic is at home with the broadest possible range of musical styles. All right, so ergonomic 3-way lever switch selects between neck, both, and bridge. A tone control, outer tone, master tone, inner control, vari-coil, progressively rolls neck mounted stagger twin pickup from double to single coil and adds or subtracts additional winds in the Tap 50 bridge pickup. Well, that's cool. That's pretty cool. But no bevel for the arm and no belly cut. That's instantly, I don't want another Tele guitar if it doesn't have any bevels on there. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Here's a Semitone Deluxe. I mean, this is a cool looking guitar, man. Look at this thing. Look at it. You got a Bucky, you got a single, and you got a mini humbucker. But I would forego the binding and the semi-hollow option for belly cuts and arm bevels, but still the same pickup arrangement. Here's a Tonemeister, which is a single coil and a P90. No, single coil and a single coil. That's what that is. Music Row, we already looked at that. There's a weird double pickup thing going on there. Once again, let's look at this one. I was like, Nathan, you were so harsh. Sorry, I just can't do it. No belly cut, no arm bevel. I'm done. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Fret King. Very cool designs. I love Trev Wilkinson for everything he's done with Reverend over the years, and other companies as well. But don't give us the same old Tele. Like, give us, I mean, we have literally 5 different options here, but only one has a single pickup, but it does give you the belly cut and it does give you the arm thing. So It's just weird. So what's a good beginner guitar? I like the Strat look and an HSS setup. I'm looking to spend around 300 max. What do you think? Well, let's go shopping over at Sweetwater here. I currently have a guitar in my possession from Zounds.com. It is one of the Squire options. And let's just look for S-style. S-style guitar. And this will give you, let's look in the price range of like $200 to $300. And I will show you what I'm seeing here. Okay, so you do have the Yamaha Pacifica, but the lower end, obviously these aren't going to come with stainless steel frets or anything. And as long as these frets feel smooth, this should be a pretty good guitar for $229. We have a black version, we have a blue, we have a nice red. That's a really nice one. Then we have a bursty, like an old violin sunburst type deal. So the Pacifica is fine. There's some Ibanez options in here. I mean, the Ibanez Geo, if you're into like rock type stuff. I mean, this one's kind of out there looking. But that's what we got for $300. We have a nice neck heel right there. So I would say go to either Sweetwater or Zounds and just look up, guitars in like $200 to $300 price range, and then just kind of see what your eye is drawn to. A Sterling by Music Man. These are pretty decent options. Okay, it's $300. It's a Stingray SR30. It's got 2 humbuckers in there. Obviously, that's not a HSS, so you wouldn't want that one. Here's another Pacifica open box. Yeah, if you're brand new to guitar, Yamaha is actually, they make great acoustic guitars for beginners, and I don't see why their electric guitars would be any different. A Washburn, that looks halfway decent. 15, 17, 19, 21, 22. It's got 22 frets. The fretboard looks a little dry. You could take the strings off and put some kind of oil on there. And maybe the frets would be, feel smooth. I'm hoping it would. But that's what you have to look out for with these lower end guitars is the frets, and make sure that the fretboard is nice and smooth. What's up, Dwight? How's it going? Let's go back. Why does that page keep popping up? All right, so now we're back in the really expensive range here. I'm trying to think of something else. Let's go $300 to $500. Let's go a little bit higher than what you would normally want to spend, because this is one of the things I do typically is I'll find something that I like, but maybe a little bit more out of my price range, and then I'll go look on Marketplace to see if somebody is selling it for like half the cost, right? So now you're getting a $500 guitar at literally, you know, 250 bucks, maybe less. Let's be dangerous right now. And let's go look on, get rid of all my messages here. Hello. All right, so look on here. We're going to go to Marketplace. Steve Sterlacci talking about the Helix 2. All right, so for example, let's type in Yamaha Electric. And we're going to have, so that's a Fender for 650 bucks. This would be very dependent on your, you know, your local listings. There's my guitar that you can buy for 1,200 bucks. Not that I don't like it, but you know, I just don't need it. So here's a Yamaha guitar. Looks decent in these new strings, but it's 100 bucks. You know what I mean? So don't think that you have to buy something online. Now, if you do buy something online, it would be for the reason of a great return policy, right? Here's one from who is this guy? The local guitar store here. This is a Squire. It looks nice. It's got 15, 17, 19, 21, 21 frets on it. But it's got HSS pickups. And Jonathan Fletcher. That's the name of the store here in Smyrna, Tennessee. Sold at Jonathan Fletcher Music in Smyrna. Open for offers. So, you know, even local guitar stores are hurting, I guess, trying to sell stuff. Because if you're not familiar with the store, you just wouldn't know to go in there and check it out. But that's a cool looking color. And, you know, maybe they even ship it to you for, you know, 50 bucks or something. I'm not sure. But, obviously you'd have to pay up front. But this is nice. I mean, it's a cool guitar. It's got a nice glossy neck to it. So let's see what this one is. This is the Humbucker 2 single. Does not come with tremolo and backplate. So it was probably a used guitar that someone sold to the store. So Squire Classic Vibe 60s. Let's go look that up. Squire Classic Vibe 60s. So that's not the same one. S-Q-U-I-E-R. I never spell Squire right. U-I-E-R. Vibe 60s. We're doing some shopping here, folks. Don't mind me. So it's got to have a humbucker in it. And I'm not seeing one with a humbucker. All right, so there you go. That's an option there. I will do this. I will save it, and I'll share this. So copy link. I'm gonna put this in the chat down here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't really go wrong with used. If you're getting a good recommendation and you kind of know what you like and what you're looking for, and like I said, find something that's a little higher out of your price range and then go see if it's used on Marketplace or, heaven forbid, Craigslist or something, you know, or just your local flea market, or just look anywhere. Just see what's used out there. You can save a lot of money by not buying brand new. Okay. See, once again, here's a Yamaha EG112C for $200. You know, it's kind of neat. Let's see what else we have. A cheap guitar. That is $100. It's probably fine, but man, you just never know. Here's a white Squire. It didn't have a HSS, but it's got a SSS. $200. Yeah. So with all that said, if you're just starting out and you don't want to spend a lot of money, just buy something used on Marketplace and be done. Because it's just not, you're not going to have the knowledge to know the difference between what a nice instrument is and what a $200 instrument is. You're just not, until you start learning your chords and how, learn some scales and get more proficient on the neck and the instrument. You will develop that feel and that sense of like, oh, I can actually tell the difference now between this kind of guitar and this kind of guitar, But until you really pick up an instrument and start learning all the different nuances of it, just get something cheap. You can even go to a pawn shop and find something pretty decent for a few $100, That's what I would do if I were in your situation, in your shoes. So if you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, then be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell for future notifications when I go live or release a video. I have got to get into the studio tonight to make some videos on some things I got to send back to Xanos.com for review. So be on the lookout for those videos coming up. They will be on the Boss GT1000, the GX100. I do have some really cheap Squire and Music Man Stingray beginner series type guitars that you can get from Xanos or Sweetwater or Amazon. So I also have affiliate links down in the description if you want to check those out and help support the channel in that way. So if you are going to buy new online and you want the nice return policy, then click through my link and they'll help me out. Or if you just want to use me as a trusted advisor and say, just go on Marketplace and find something used, then do that as well. Okay? It's your money. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what I would do. And I would definitely, me at this point, I would find something with stainless steel frets. But literally, if you're just starting out, then just go find something that's decent, that doesn't fall apart in your hands, stays in tune, and just learn as many songs as you can. Scales, chords, whatever that is. And just have fun. Have fun learning a new instrument and becoming a more confident musician. Okay? Thanks, guys, for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will be back probably later this week with another video. And until next time, keep rocking. See ya.